JP Miller has released 2 TikToks that are completely unhinged. So I want to show, and JP Miller is Mica Miller's husband, the pastor in South Carolina, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Myrtle Beach, yeah.
And there's a lot of mystery around her death, what happened. And this is his response to that. So if you have any questions, you probably are all up to date on this, Mica Miller.
Yeah, if you don't, though, let us know, and we'll discuss it. Just let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, go ahead, and we'll watch this, because this is pretty funny. So first of all...
He's got a Spider-Man in the background.
Hey, what is up with that? This is a grown man.
When
apparently.
You say that, but...
He's a pastor, and he has a life-size Spider-Man in his backdrop.
Well, what I find most important about it is that he made sure it was in shot. In shot.
Yeah.
Because, he's already shown off his DeLorean. And like you had said, he's like a 12-year-old. And I feel that's how it is that that he is he's a 12-year-old showing off his toys. Right?
Yeah.
I've got a DeLorean. I've got a Spider-Man. I'm cooler than you. And now it's like a life-size Spider-Man in the background, and I really don't get it.
He's like a little boy in a grown man's body. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is from True Crime RI on her TikTok. So we'll just watch a little bit, and then... Wait, I don't think you can hear that.
Yeah.
More than wisdom and self-control so that we can win the war that is up ahead. And I am looking forward to presenting over 350 pieces of proof on what Mica thinks about her family and what Mica thinks about her lawyer and the things her lawyer's saying and the things that her family's saying.
Okay, so that confused me too. What Mica thinks about her lawyer, she had already passed when the family got the lawyer. Right? So what does he mean by that?
Yeah, well, I'm wondering, is he referring to maybe a lawyer that she got before?
Oh, maybe
about
her
the divorce lawyer?
Maybe her divorce lawyer?
Don't know, but he has 350 pieces of evidence of of what she really thinks about her family.
Oh, that's so gross.
And it doesn't. None of that matters.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with you, JP, involvement in her death.
Not 351, not 351.
350 pieces.
Falcon, it's probably more like 349. We're going to be honest with you here.
He's a bit of an exaggerator.
He blew that way out of proportions. It's only 349, not 350.
Oh, my God.
And Charlotte and all these other people that are saying things, people forget that Mica corresponded with me more than anybody else on planet Earth. And I know her heart.
God, he's such a narcissist. Like, just a narcissist.
Yeah, so and again, I always like to take people at face value.
He's got big ears. Yeah. Sorry.
I didn't say, to be honest, about his appearance. Let's take him at face value. She spoke with me more than anybody else. But let's question, what did she speak about? Get out of my life. Stop stalking me. Right. Stop slicing my tires. I'd like a divorce.
Yeah.
Stop cheating on me. Yeah, I'm sure there was a lot that she said that she didn't say to other people.
Jeez.
Oh, my God.
And I have her text messages, and we're going to disprove all the lies that are out there. And there's so many lies, it seems like everybody thinks the world is flat. And you ask them why, and they say, well, it says on the news the world's flat. Or, Robbie Stinky Harvey said that it's flat. Or JLR never investigates.
And those are the two people that are kind of close to Myrtle Beach that are talking a lot on TikTok about him. And so he called them out specifically in this TikTok.
I responded to Robbie's channel, and I said, congratulations on being called out by the preacher.
Yeah. It's so weird. It's such a weird thing to say. And then this whole flat earth, like, it has nothing to do with anything.
It's flat. But when I get to court, I'm going to show you that the world is round. And you're going to be shocked at some of the things that you see that Mica says. And we're going to find out actually who is responsible for my wife's death. And Mica will have justice. when it's all said and done, and I'm going to make sure of it. So thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you soon. God bless.
It's just like,
but if you feel that if he feels that Mica committed self-harm, and what justice is there for her other than blaming her?
Yeah, because that's what he did on stage.
Right.
He blamed her.
Right.
He was like,
So I'm just curious of what justice he's referring to.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. These TikToks are not doing any of me favors at all.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah, they're not. And if I was his lawyer, I'd be telling him to shut up.
Yeah, he should not be doing this. All right, so this is the one.
Of course, if I was his lawyer, I would have said, please don't do a 2-hour sermon and then talk about your wife's death at the end of it, without shedding a tear.
And sharing her personal mental health struggles.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Tonight's video is going to be a little bit more lighthearted than normal. The goal is to debunk a different lie every night in the Francis family.
Like, what? What?
Yeah, actually, you know what he feels like to me?
A walking stereotype?
Well, besides that, he seems like a gamer going live.
That had just done something wrong?
No, not at all. I'm a gamer, like a video gamer that's live streaming on Twitch. Hey guys, coming to you live from my basement, and I'm playing the latest video. He doesn't seem like he's talking about his wife's death,
no,
or any information. There's just this energy I'm getting from him is very, like, I'm super excited for you to see my face,
yeah,
and to hear my voice.
Do you think he's like relishing the spotlight he's under now?
So,
like he's enjoying all of the attention that he's getting. Instead of like most of us would be ashamed that all of our secrets were exposed, we'd be like, oh, and hide.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm in the spotlight. This is my time to shine.
Yeah. So you just got a compliment about your hair.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, Mace, how are you?
Got big hair today.
Yeah. We did we changed the lights around so she has a hair light now.
I had a hair light, yeah.
We have a hair light today.
Hair. We're trying to get better with this.
We're trying to get better. Oh yeah, we forgot to do this too.
1%
so we
better.
also changed some of our camera angles as well. So as I'm talking, I could actually change the angle. We're gonna give this a try today, see how this works. And I'll try to remember to switch it over because it is a manual process. But yeah, let's go back to JP because he needs to be talked about more.
Right.
Probably in his own mind, he needs to be talked about more.
Yeah.
I would imagine that his image is so curated, the way that he presents himself, the way that he talks, and it's pretty evident about what he's done in the past, kicking people out of the church that disagree with him, et cetera, et cetera. So this is probably right in line with, I need to show people the truth behind me, the congregation, my word, my message, all that other stuff.
Yeah.
That's the way I feel about it. That I don't know if he's relishing it, but he's definitely using his presence and his charisma
moment.
To.
Yep.
I'm going to talk my way out of this. Watch this.
Yeah, and that's what he's been able to do his whole life.
Yeah.
This family has given me a lot to work with, so it's going to take a while. But don't believe anything that I say just because I say it.
We don't believe anything you say.
You believe in what they say just because they say it. You need to look for proof and truth. And so tonight we're going to deal with something that Michael Francis said. Mica, my wife, had 7 days. I think her mom's married 7 times. Michael Francis is the biological father. And he said the other day on some show something to the effect of Micah's one of her tattoos, my name that's my signature that is tattooed on her body. He inferred that meant that I owned her and that I was controlling and manipulative and I made her.
Well, I think he's trying to compare him to NXIVM because that's what the NXIVM cult leader did. He branded the women.
Right.
And so I think that's where Mica's father is coming in and saying, this is exactly what JP is doing.
Mm-hmm.
He branded her beforehand.
Right.
So I think that's where the dad is making the correlation.
Yeah, that makes
to a cult leader that we all know about, Keith Raniere, and comparing him to this dude, which I think is a fair comparison, actually, based on their sexual proclivities. I think they're very similar.
Yeah, see, and that's interesting to me is because the odd thing is that we're getting a comparison from the father.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's a whole basket of crazy for him to be labeling his son as kind of a negative.
No, this is Mica's father.
Micah's
not his father.
I thought he said Wayne. I thought he said Wayne on that one.
No, Mica's father.
Yeah. Okay. So this is damage control then. This isn't.
Yeah.
I was like, why is he talking about
because
his father?
Mica's father made the very clear connection between him and Keith Raniere that he didn't state it outright, but he said, I branded her. And so now he's doing damage control, saying, I didn't have her branded. She got the tattoo with my name on it. Right. I didn't tell her to do that. And that's what he's about to say.
Right.
Get that tattoo.
Wow.
So I could brand her and stamp her and say that she belongs to me. And that's not really how it worked. The first time she got my signature tattooed on her, it was when we were dating. And I was actually in New York on a vacation, and she sent me a picture of what she had done, and I was surprised. A few weeks later, we broke up, and she covered it up with a lotus flower, and then we got married.
So when
this is important.
And this is, I don't understand the timeline, because the more I think about it, the more this doesn't make any sense to me. He's saying he didn't tell her to get the tattoo, but they were dating at the time. So that meant they were married to other people when she got the tattoo, or was she separated from her husband when she got the tattoo? Like, it doesn't make any sense. This story doesn't line up and doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah. Because because they left their spouses and then they started dating and got married, or they got married like right after they left their spouses. So there's some weirdness here with this story.
Well, I mean, that's the problem with this whole story, is the whole thing is weirdness.
Yeah.
Because even, I think timelines are important here, because if they were divorced but dating, like what does anybody know the timeline of, like? It's
out there, the timeline of like when everything happened. I just don't know.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if anybody on in the chat knows, because it's like, if it was like 6 months to a year that they were dating.
I don't think so.
I know. I'm just kind of throwing it out there. That kind of like that makes more sense. But the way that it all sounds, it sounds like that they were still married, dating, and she got a tattoo.
So how weird
it
and
then they broke up. Like,
yeah. Well, they're still married to someone else. Like, I come home and I was like, oh, I was in New York City and I got this tattoo of some random dude's name, of my pastor. I got my pastor's name tattooed on me.
Yeah. So Mesa's saying she was with him for half of her life. So I feel like any mental issue she had was contributed in part by him. Oh yeah. There was definitely grooming going on. Is that unfair to say? No, I don't think it's unfair to say.
I think he is completely responsible for her death one way or the other. And like, he may not have pulled the trigger, but he pushed her over the edge. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so we can only guess like what it was early years marriage and stuff like that.
No, we know.
Oh, really?
We know.
See, the only thing I know about is the end parts of it, when he was slicing tires and putting GPS trackers on cars, allegedly.
The day that we released our Mica video, the lawyer went and did a press conference and released a 3-page document of all of the abuse that she had suffered under JP. So this is absolute damage control, where he's going back and saying, I didn't do this. All of this stuff is lies, all these 3 pages and all this stuff. Yeah. And the whole where Mica's father said he branded her And now he's going back and saying, no, that wasn't what happened. We were dating. But back to my point, if I came back with a tattoo of our pastor on my body, like what in the world would you say at that point?
Well, we wouldn't have to talk about divorce.
What?
It would pretty much be an automatic.
Yeah, it doesn't. This timeline, this story doesn't make any sense to me.
So Cat Meow saying how strange all these roosters of good intent are coming home to roost.
Yeah, right.
Well, and that's how I feel about him, is that he is like, all of his actions were good, and like anytime you hear him talk, and I have issues with people that just accept that you might have not been a great person. Like, don't fight that you might not have been a good, like, if the more you lie or push that aside, that oh no, I was great, I don't understand, I was only here to help this entire time. It's like any little bad thing that comes out, it's just going to make you look worse.
He's a narcissist. He's not able to do that. He is because his upbringing was so terrible.
Yeah.
He's developed all of those mental things for him to cope as a child. And now he's in this leadership position, and now he's in front of the spotlight. He cannot do that. Like, I don't think he has the mental ability to do that.
Yeah. It'd probably been better if he would have, like, I don't know, become an accountant or something.
He doesn't have the skill set. Like, he does.
Well, no, not, but he could have.
What else is he going to do? I mean, he could have become a influencer, I guess, like a Christian influencer.
Yeah. Yeah.
That probably would have been better.
That's, so far.
He can be a trad husband. He'd be a trad husband. Carl's been going around joking all day saying he's a trad husband.
I'm working on it.
He's
I'm working on becoming a trad husband. I'm going to be wearing aprons and baking pies for you. And being subservient husband.
Well, I'm doing my good husband.
Yeah.
Thing.
Take pictures in front of our $10,000 stove. Like,
look at that. All right, let's finish this.
Sorry, we'll go on tangents.
And then a few years later, she got my signature tattooed on the other side of her body. But I don't think that it means that I was controlling and manipulative. I don't think it means that I owned her. I don't think it was a brand or anything I forced her to do.
I don't think it means. See, it's that wording that just gets me. So I don't know if this is making anybody else like kind of feel weird about it. Like the fact that he keeps saying, I don't feel that this was a brand. I don't feel that.
I don't think it means.
And I don't think it means that I was controlling her. It's like, well, you would know.
Who cares what you think, you jackass?
Well, no, yeah. Like if you're doing this video, we obviously do care what he thinks, but don't use words like that. Say, I was not controlling her. I was not wanting her branded. Statements of fact of how you really feel. Not
instead of, I don't think it means I was controlling.
Yeah. What it feels to me is like something you would say in front of a jury. To get rid of blame, so that if anybody comes back and says, well, you said you didn't control her. I didn't say that. I said, I don't think
it means
that I was controlling her. So it's like he's like Teflon, right?
Yeah. Well, he has been up until this happened.
Yeah.
Where he can get prostitutes on a bar, do all that kind of crazy stuff, and his church just allowed it to happen.
Exactly. In fact, you think he's trying to convince himself? Yeah,
that's a good point.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, he's like, I don't think I was that way. I don't think I was this way. But
well, after everybody's been telling you, I think maybe you do know.
Yeah,
he's gaslighting us.
He's not doing a very good job.
No, he's not a great gaslighter. Can you imagine living with this guy?
No.
It was completely her idea. And I don't know why Michael would think that. But if you do think that's what it means, if somebody has, someone else's name, their signature even, tattooed on their body, if you think it means that person owns them and, that they are over them and they're controlling, then what would you say?
No, don't.
Yes. Whose idea do you think that was?
Ugh. Jeez.
And he was still wearing his ring. You can take off that screen.
Yeah.
He was still wearing his wedding ring during that. So, I mean, the whole thing was image based.
Yeah.
He was wearing the wedding ring. He had that stupid Spider-Man thing behind him. He was, I mean.
And he definitely looks like he's the grieving husband.
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, like, it's just so weird.
Oh, man. So.
He's not.
This was back in April, right? April 27th, right?
No, this was yesterday.
No. When they found Mica.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So, well, Chad once banned Lucifer from Arizona. Maybe this dude could pick up his playbook. Inappropriate showing of skin. Yeah. Yeah, Falcon. I was not ready yet. I don't think anybody needed to see that.
Yeah. I thought he was going to take his whole shirt and do like Putin style, like here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's good. He didn't Photoshop himself on top of a horse.
Yeah.
So, hey, it's a win for everybody in that case. All right. So, okay, I need to clean out my eyes for a second on that one. Okay. Yeah, let's talk about this because there's so many issues for me on this video.
Okay.
So
Let's hear 'em.
Yeah. So the one is that. Okay. So let me a little perspective. My dad passed away when I was 16. I am a little over 30 years old now, and
yeah.
slightly.
I'm
a
not.
bit.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you.
No, you're laughing at me.
I'm laughing at you.
But even to this day, if I talk about my dad, I get emotional.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's been 33 years, and I still get emotional about the passing of my dad. Like, I mean, I can feel it now. Like, just that pit of the stomach feeling. Just
it never goes away.
It never goes away. This was a month and a half ago, and he's like,
because it wasn't about.
He's like, hey, subscribers, let's live chat me talking about how I'm not guilty. You know, like.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Or that whole sermon when he did a whole sermon for 2 hours. Like, I would be devastated.
Yeah.
I mean, even if I didn't like the person that much, even if it was a member of the church, I would still feel horrible and just be like, this is a really sad day. Let's talk about this first.
Do you think he's capable of emotions?
No.
I kind of get the feeling he's just not capable.
I had a feeling that he was a sociopath. So
also,
yeah, a narcissistic sociopath. I don't like throwing around those terms often because, you know, it takes away from the true sociopaths of this world, makes them look bad. But he definitely kind of fits the sociopath and definitely narcissism. I think that's a pretty much given. But,
yeah.
I mean, like, what do you guys think? Because I feel that he does not understand like true emotion.
He probably can't based on the way that he was raised. If he was raised by the Wayne Miller, he probably had all of these crazy expectations and horrible childhood, and he just doesn't know how to express it, and that developed into narcissism and whatever other issues he's gone through.
Well, and I also think too that we talked about this in our video on our podcast was about how it seems like he's the one that has the mental issues.
And not her.
Yeah, and not her.
She probably just was trying to deal with him.
Yeah.
And that made her feel crazy.
Yeah.
But she wasn't crazy because he kept telling her, you're the one with the issue. I don't know why you have the issue about me doing XYZ. You're the one with the issues. I'm the pastor.
Gaslighting, yeah.
Yeah. And she just was thinking, wow, there must be something wrong with me because I feel this way about whatever situation he's putting her in. And because he had groomed her and had controlled her,
yep,
and there was coercive control there, she didn't have any thoughts for herself. And the fact that he said she communicated with me more than anyone else tells me he had her completely under control. Yeah. She wasn't probably allowed to talk to her family.
Well, yeah, and that could go both ways too, right? It could go, I'm controlling this person, and also she confided in me so much that she talked to me more than anybody else. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's where he was trying to go with it, but the way he's talking is like, there's only one way to read into it, from my opinion.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, he doesn't sound very emotionally evolved. Yeah.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
He really is like a 12-year-old boy.
Well, I also want to go back to he's definitely on medication because of the incident with the truck, when he was out of the truck and he was flailing around on the grass. Yeah. I think he even made the comment like, I'm not on my meds or something like that.
In a church sermon?
No, when he was on the grass screaming. Mm. And it was either he said it or a family member said, yeah, he was off of his meds and then went to go get his kids and was denied custody or something like that. And he had that effect. So I'm also wondering too, if any of the medications he's on might cause his emotions to be out of whack as well.
Yeah.
That if it's controlling whatever the mental issue that he has, and I do not want to disparage him for any mental illness he might have, because it's not a choice. But I'm wondering, yeah, youth pastor. What planet would youth pastor ever be a good idea? And that's kind of my point as well. It's like I don't think that having a mental issue should automatically disbar you from being a preacher. Mm-hmm. But I feel that should be viewed as like, okay, our pastor has mental issues. He's on medication. What happens when he's not? Can we trust him when he's not? It's just, it's such a weird thing. And I just don't get it. But I'm also wondering, like, could that cause that disconnect?
Lack of emotion.
Yeah.
I don't know. There should be something there, but
well, there is, and it's narcissism. Yeah. Is that an emotion?
Yeah, he just cares about himself.
Yeah.
And I think whatever these 350 pieces of whatever.
It's 349. Let's just admit it.
I think it's not going to be anything. It's
probably Mica saying bad crap about her family, because that
probably
stuff happens. But also too, I'm curious if that's what it says, which is what we're assuming, because
that's what he said.
Yeah. What was he saying to her to put that in her head too? Because we also know that is a method of coercive control, is to remove family members from people's lives.
Right.
Because if you don't have the family members, you don't have a support structure.
Right.
For it. So.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll find out what the 350 pages of information is going to be. Read through them all, right?
He's I don't have words for this JP Miller. He's in his own planetary sphere.
Yeah.
His own thing.